All right, for today's video review, we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Legacy United Infernac Universe Geocron. Another one of our armorizer guys here, although he is a core class figure, so technically he doesn't really do the whole armorizer gimmick, but he still fits in with the other Infernac Universe guys. And yeah, this is probably the last one we'll get, and it's probably at least going to be the last one I get. If they end up doing any more, they'll probably just be repaints of ones we already have. I mean, a lot of the other ones, including this one, are already just repaints of the ones we already have, so I certainly don't need any of those molds again. Yeah, no, he is a repaint, slight retool of core class Boulder Crash from the first wave, so it was one of the first ones we got. And yeah, originally I wasn't really planning on picking this guy up just because he is almost just a complete repaint of that guy who I don't really need another one of, but I ended up coming up with a design for a combiner for these guys that required having two of that mold. So I decided I'd pick this guy up, and yeah, he came in the other day, and yeah, he's a fun little figure. No real surprises here, but he's cool. Just like with Boulder Crash, he does turn into the little weird rock trike thing, which rolls pretty decently. He also does have the blade weapon here, which you can flip forward if you want to have it be like a battle mode, I guess. He can also sort of, I guess, be held as a sword kind of by other figures using the peg in the back here. It doesn't really work, but you can do it. Yeah, it's all the blade is half of the blade is obscured by the wheel there, so it's I don't know what he really accomplishes as a weapon, but yeah, either way, he's a fun little alt mode here. In terms of comparisons in this mode, here he is with Kingdom Sideswipe, just so you can see what he looks like with an average size deluxe there, and then here he is with all the other armorizers that we have so far, and again, probably these are going to be all the ones that I get. And yeah, it's a nice little group there. Obviously, it's well, we've got one of him, two of him, three of him. It kind of works out. But yeah. No, I feel like that they all look pretty cool together, and we can see what the differences are with him and Boulder Crash. There's a few paint hits that are different. He has a little sort of I guess cockpit kind of window here thing that that Boulder Crash didn't really have, but and a couple lava lines on Boulder Crash that are not present on Geocron. So they put a few different paint hits in a few places, but they look pretty similar, just kind of with the lighter brown rather than the red brown, and the purple rather than the red, but otherwise they look pretty similar. But yeah, to get onto transformation, obviously being a core class figure, he's fairly simple. You just want to take the weapon here, flip it up like that, and then just take this whole section and then untab it. Then we want to take the legs. They will untab from this back armature section just like that. You want to rotate them down, and then this is the kind of annoying part of the transformation, is you rotate them around at the waist, and you kind of have to maneuver one of the legs around this section as you do it. It's not difficult, it's just kind of annoying because it's you're sort of doing a couple motions at once, but whatever. Then you can take this entire top section, rotate it around like that. Take the arms, they will untab from this section here and just rotate forward and click into place. Then we can take this wheel section, flip it onto the back, and take this little chest piece and flip that forward. And there we have Geocron in his robot mode. And yeah, he's got a cool little design here. The new bit of sculpting is the head sculpt, which is actually directly based on a character that showed up in the Headmasters cartoon from when a couple characters went on a trip and they ended up in a rock planet with a bunch of rock creatures, which was cited as one of the original sort of inspirations for these guys in general. But his head sculpt, and apparently Calcitron's too, I hadn't totally realized that, are based directly on the heads from a few of the creatures on that planet, which is kind of cool to see. But yeah, other than that, he's a pretty decent little robot mode here. In terms of articulation, the head is on a ball joint, it can rotate around. Shoulders are on ball joints, rotate around and go out to the side about that far. Ball jointed elbows, which gives him a bicep swivel and a little over 90. Hips can go forward and back and out to the side. He does have a waist swivel, though it does kind of bump into the backpack kibble at some point. His hips can go, I already did his hips. His knees are on ball joints, which can rotate up like that a little bit past 90, which also gives him a bicep swivel. And then the feet have just a slight A-stance sculpt in them, so no ankle joints or anything like that. And yeah, just like with Boulder Crash, he does have this kind of annoying armature section just hanging off of his back, which aside from just, being a structure for the alt mode, I'm still not really sure what this is for. Like, it feels like it must be a part of like a larger function that these figures have. But if there's some sort of like official combiner for these guys, they haven't revealed anything yet. But there is just like a few sort of unexplainable things on them, like those tabs on the blades for Shard, and then these bits on the back of the core class guys that I'm just not entirely sure what those are meant for. I guess aside from just like making him a sword in alt mode, but whatever. And then in terms of his weapon, obviously you can put it in either hand here, so he's got like a kind of bulky blade arm. And unfortunately, again, just like with Boulder Crash, the storage is like not great. The best thing you can really do here is use this tab on the back of the blade and kind of tab it onto this section here, which I don't think is intentional. I just think it's a little bit happenstantial. It's just happenstance. Is that a word? I don't know. But you can tab it on like that. And yeah, it just kind of gives him more of a backpack. So you can do that, but I've just kind of gotten used to just like letting these guys hold their weapons, since they're like a different species anyway that might not have storage or whatever, but so let it work for my head canon. But yeah, it looks fine with him just like using it as a blade arm, but still don't love the fact that those don't have a proper storage there. But yeah, in terms of comparisons in this mode, here he is again with Sideswipe, just so you can see what it looks like with an average size deluxe. And then lastly, here he is with all the other Rock Lord Armorizer guys. I keep calling them, have never been officially called Rock Lords, but it's obvious what these guys are supposed to have been an homage to. But yeah, they're a pretty cool group overall. I like the way that all of them look together. And like I previously mentioned, I did come up with a combined mode for these guys that I do quite like. Just like I did with Trashmaster last year, I think I'm going to upload that as a separate video kind of showing how to actually put that all together, but I will real quick show off what it looks like in this video just briefly. So this is what I've come up with for a combined mode for these guys. And yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how this looks. Obviously, I needed both the core class guys there to be the arms. But yeah, like I said, I'll go over this, and how to make it in a different video. I just figured I'd quickly show it off here, since it really is the only reason that I decided to pick up Geocron to begin with, since without him, this couldn't really happen. And without this, I wouldn't really have had any particular desire to get him. Like, yeah, the reference to the to the Headmaster's cartoon is cool, but it's not really. It wouldn't have been enough to pick up this figure on its own. But yeah, I'll quickly move him back to his regular robot mode, and that's pretty much all there is to say about Geocron. Again, a fun little figure insofar that Boulder Crash was a fun little figure, but if you don't want to use him for like a combined mode or anything like that, he doesn't really do a lot that Boulder Crash didn't already do. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. If you enjoy my videos, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I do reviews every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And without further ado, here we have Transformers Legacy United Core Class Infernac Universe Geocron.